guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Dr. Zain, and on this channel I react to videos that interest me. So if that sounds like your thing, please make sure you subscribe right now and give this video a big thumbs up because I think you're going to enjoy it. Shout out to all of you who have subscribed and who keep showing your support in one way or another. I truly appreciate it. You guys are the best. So today I have another reaction video for you guys. This is Walmart's self-checkout gets worse. Paying customer gets sent to jail. I mean, I guess I should be surprised. First of all, I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. Okay, coming from where I'm coming from. I don't like anything automatic as long as there's nobody involved. I need somebody to be involved, okay? I mean, some people do trust automatic stuff and it can definitely be more convenient when it works. When it works, the problem is many of the times when they've just started with those automatic whatever, there are a few bugs. There are usually 1 or 2 bugs in the system. And what if you're the one it affects? What if you pay and it doesn't reflect? Now you'll have to pay all over again. I haven't watched the video, but I mean, just from the title I can imagine.
In the grocery store, heading towards the exit with a full cart, when you notice there isn't a checkout clerk in sight, your only option is to use the self-checkout.
You know, I said earlier that I always insist on people being involved, but according to this lady, if you do not see a checkout clerk in sight, then your only option is to use the self-checkout. That's a problem. That's a problem. So I guess they should insist on, they should ensure that they have at least 1 or 2 clerks and then have the checkout options so that people who do not want to deal with clerks or who do not want to deal with lines can use the checkout option while knowing the risks. Okay, while knowing the risks, at least until they perfect the system such that there won't be any bugs.
Halfway through scanning items, you have an issue with one of the barcodes. An attendant comes over and helps you with the item and stays to assist with the rest of your cart.
Okay.
Once all the items have been scanned, you pay and head towards the exit.
Okay.
Before you make it out the door, a security guard steps in front of you and accuses you of stealing. Surprised by the accusation, you tell him you just finished paying. You're telling the truth.
Show them the
doesn't
receipt.
believe you. Hurt, angry, and confused, you refuse to put up with this. You push your cart full of groceries that you just bought over to customer service and return all of the items, vowing never to shop at a Walmart again. 2 weeks later, the police show up with a warrant for your arrest. You have no choice but to comply as they take you away from your family and bring you to jail.
This has to be a joke.
Who is self-checkout for? Is it for the consumer's convenience? Or is it just so corporate can save money by passing the labor onto the consumer?
Definitely the
And
second.
is theft from big chain stores a victimless crime? Or are we the unknowing victims? Regardless of what side you're on, petty theft is on the rise, and we are already beginning to see and feel the consequences.
Obviously we know that many big corporations are only interested in the bottom line and they only care about cutting costs. Cutting costs as long as it doesn't affect their private jets and their extra homes in different destinations in the world. So many times they try to push the labor onto the customer by acquiring new technology, and the new technology, whether it has been perfected or not, they don't care. They'll just put it out there. And then how can you accuse first of all, is there no, did she not have the receipt or did he not have the receipt? Whoever it is, did they not have the receipt to confirm it doesn't have to be a big deal. If they accuse you of theft, that would definitely be irritating, extremely irritating. But first of all, I would prove, they should just look at the receipt and look at all the items in the cart and look at everything on your person. And if they do not find what you've been accused of stealing, then I hope they compensate you in some way or you sue them. That's just ridiculous. And of course, you never shop there again, and you tell everybody never to shop there again. That's just ridiculous. Do not send hate to anyone because they know people
that give customers the employee experience.
People don't waste time. Okay, people do not waste time. If they hear about something, whether it's confirmed or not, they just want to know who the villain is, right? Once they know who the supposed villain is, whether it's true or not, they will start sending hate. They will put out, they will send emails, they will tweet hate at them, they'll post hate stuff about them. If they know their home address, they'll post it and tell everybody you know what to do. If they know their phone numbers, they'll post it and tell everybody you know what to do. Like, they don't waste time. People are awesome.
You know,
People are
sans
awesome.
paycheck. But while social media posts that sarcastically suggest customers will soon be operating Walmart semi-trucks on top of their self-checkout duties might encourage shoppers to take advantage of their newfound positions as cashiers. Swiping a free item or two is easier said than done. Since we last discussed this subject back in March, these machines have continued to evolve not to meet the demands of customers, but in the words of Hitchcock's classic romantic thriller, to catch a thief. Yet, despite AI-equipped surveillance systems that flag customer suspicious activity.
So I guess the machines are doing what they were optimized to do. Obviously, I understand where the people are coming from. Somehow, there's a lot of thefts. Even if you've got cameras, even if you've got cashiers, even if you've got assistants roaming the aisles, just checking on people and ensuring that nobody's talking something away, there's still a lot of theft.
Our digital eye has perfect vision, and it never needs a coffee break or a day off.
And flashy new cameras that do their best to remind shoppers Big Brother is watching.
So every time you scan something, it takes pictures of you, my dude. And let me just tell you, every time that you run your card through a Walmart scanner, they have a note of it. So that they can find you by your credit card.
Retailers haven't been able to curb customers of their $100 billion shoplifting problem.
There is a lot
And
of
unfortunately,
petty theft.
since Walmart CEO Doug McMillon sounded the alarm in December 2022,
If that's not corrected over time, prices will be higher and or stores will close.
the in-person shopping experience across various chains has only gotten worse. Grocery stores used to be my happy place. Then they started locking up the detergent. This is the headline to the op-ed
This is
Professor of
ridiculous.
Sociology at UC San Francisco, Stacey Torres, recently wrote for the Los Angeles Times. In response to the latest tactics businesses have implemented to punish paying customers for crimes they didn't commit.
You can't keep your Tide on the shelves anymore?
No, which is a big inconvenience for the customer and for
And the
worker.
worker.
In the piece, Stacey
I would
explained
just
that
not buy it
excursions
there, I'll
to
go buy it
stores
somewhere
that once
else.
nourished our sociability now strip our dignity by dehumanizing shoppers who don't have the technological capabilities or disposable income to shop online.
I mean-
by storing the products they
I would definitely shop online, but like sometimes you just want to physically do the shopping. I would just shop elsewhere if you are going to love one or two things. And look, let me just say here. Obviously, I'm not trying to rub it in anybody's face or anything, but they were talking about some other countries as the places that are unsafe and are full of thievery and are full of unscrupulous, dishonest, corrupt individuals. But I mean, I've never seen any store in my beloved country where they lock up detergents or anything at all. They put it all on the shelf. They just have people follow you around, which of course can be quite inconvenient. And it can feel intrusive, but they just have people follow you around on top of the cameras they have and all of that. But I've never ever seen them locking up the like. So I just wanted to put that out there, okay? When you accuse some other people of being dishonest, I mean, dishonesty is everywhere in the world, okay? It's not limited to any color or DNA type or race or whatever. Let's just get that
behind lock
straight.
and key. And detergent isn't the only product that's now out of customers' arm's reach. Yep, in the year of 2023, perfume no longer
Can you
lines the shelves
imagine?
of Sephora.
They just have the tester of the fragrances out now. They just keep them all locked up.
Chains and security lids at pharmacies are needed to safeguard
Ice cream is another kind of thing.
Oh,
Ice cream.
And aisles at
Okay.
some CVS locations.
First of all, this is ridiculous because I've seen somebody steal an apple before. Okay, I've seen somebody steal an apple before, and the person ran. Everybody was shouting, "Barawo, barawo," like, which means thief in Hausa. And this person just ran. The person had really long legs, was tall, slim, long legs, ran, and nobody could catch them. And after some time, people just give up. If you steal stuff like ice cream, you steal things like sweets, like apple, you're a thief. Okay, thievery is in your blood. You're not hungry. If somebody steals something like bread or like food, like, you can understand that, okay, it's thievery still, it's dishonest, but they're most likely hungry, or they've got someone else who is hungry and they just need something to alleviate the hunger, right? Like, it's nuanced. Like, I don't believe everything's black and white in life. yes, what's bad is bad, but you can understand that, okay, somebody's stealing food or bread or something like that, it's because of hunger. But if you're stealing apple, you're stealing ice cream, you're a thief. Okay, you are just a thief. Whether you're hungry or not doesn't come into it.
They just keep them all locked up.
Perfume, you're stealing perfume. Seriously, you're stealing perfume.
Needed to safeguard ice cream.
Come on.
And aisles at some CVS locations.
I'm sorry, I'm at risk of this my whole behavior of pausing every so often, but like, if you're stealing perfume, like, it reminds me of all those movies where you would have like high class, like, scammers. Hollywood movies, of course. High class scammers who like scam rich men and who never want to pay their bills at a restaurant. There was that one movie like that where when they finish eating, they'll pour glass into the food and then accuse the chef of having glass in the food, so that they'll be apologized to, they'll be given another food, and they'll be given the wine of their choosing, and they won't have to pay. Or they will do their nails, or they will go to a hotel and pour water on the floor and then claim that they slipped on the water, and so the hotel will have to put them up without having them pay, like, etc., etc. Like, it just reminds me of people like that. And it reminds me of Ocean's, I think it's Ocean's 8, the one where Sandra Bullock was like a super duper thief, ex-con, who went to a store and kind of scammed the store out of a lot of makeup products and all of that. She just walked out with like the shopping bag and everything, right? Like, that's what it reminds me of. That's just messed up.
To toilet paper that was once proudly displayed.
Instead of just letting people see what's in stock, they're putting pictures of
They even
their toilet
framed.
paper in picture frames.
That's mad. They even
Dollar
frame
Tree
the
has begun
pictures.
protecting
That's
their budget
ridiculous.
merchandise
And
in
they're afraid
fine
that people will
jewelry.
steal the
And
pictures.
this issue isn't limited to North America. Stores in the UK have started putting dummy coffee on the shelves, fitting steak and cheese with security tags, and locking away chocolate bars that cost as little as £1.35, since shoplifting has returned to pre-pandemic highs. And,
Wow.
of course, when it comes to drastic measures to deter retail theft, Walmart is never the exception.
Of course.
What's up, Walmart? Get it together. Why are you locking things up that you're actively recording?
I mean, you've got
In
cameras and
fact,
stuff.
it seems an increasing number of the retailer stores
But I guess
have taken up the
people
practice
have ways
hiding
of
their products from
bypassing
thieves,
those
as well
camera
as paying
things.
customers.
They not playing.
They are not
They
playing.
did it
They are
on
not.
big
Like, they are not
business.
playing.
Yo, it was not like this last week. It was not like this yesterday.
One user joked, they fed up.
They
and
are.
it seemed customers were just as dissatisfied as the store. From the level of surveillance, might as well have a personal employee walking with you at this point,
Yeah.
to the inconvenience. And nobody's going to be around to open the door. That's right, retailers weren't just taking the enjoyment out of their customers' time by locking up merchandise, they were wasting it. As one user commented, my pet peeve is workers don't assist you fast. Like, now I'm waiting 20 plus for a worker to show up. I'm gone.
The workers cannot assist you fast because they are overworked, obviously underpaid. The people don't have time to waste. So then you want to cut costs, so you fire a lot of people, and you've got maybe like 50% of the workers there who would have to do the job of 2 people or 3 people or 4 people each person, right? And so customers are there waiting. It's like there's a particular corporation here, I'm not going to mention which, too, that their former management was great. They had like one of the best customer services in the country when they started. Everybody loved them, especially like students and like young people and all of that, because their technology was just so up there and people were trying to catch up. And then at some point they changed their management, everything just became whack, and then they fired a bunch of people. If you go to one of their offices, you'll see a lot of office space unoccupied, and you would see the marks showing that they actually had tables there and chairs there where workers used to stay, but then those workers are not there because they fired everybody. And so whenever you get there, there's always like a long line. There are always people sitting on the floor because they're tired of standing. There are always people complaining, and the technology is just whack, and everything is just like they don't know they're actually killing their business by cutting costs, by actually firing people.
This wait to access the bare essentials can become even more unbearable should customers require, perish the thought, different items from different departments.
In total, it took 40 minutes to pick up
free items
Hey,
and
who has time
proceed
for
to
that
check out
rubbish?
at the same Walmart.
Who has time
Well,
for that
one
rubbish?
user commented, "I just go to Target, lol. Who
Do you
has
see?
time?" Shop hopping might not be the solution customers are looking for.
Because those
After
ones are
losing
doing the
a
same
whopping
thing.
$500 million to
Underwear.
shoplifting, Target locations too have made some not-so customer-friendly changes. From locking up bare essentials like underwear to entire cosmetic departments.
Bro, this is crazy.
Like I said before, if you're stealing underwear, you're stealing toothpaste, you're stealing body wash, you're
As for the
stealing
effect,
like ice
well,
cream,
let's just say it
perfume,
doesn't
you're a
inspire
thief.
much
You're just a
tenderness
thief.
from the
It has nothing
retailer's
to do with
clientele.
your needs or whatever. You're just a thief.
That is my Target now.
And while Target CEO Brian Cornell has claimed that
Just shop
customers are
online,
giving
yo.
the store a
Just shop
big
online.
thank you for keeping merchandise stocked behind lock and key, shoppers that are surprised the chain's still in business suggest otherwise.
It takes away from the pleasures of shopping.
But locking
yes.
away merchandise isn't the only way retailers are channeling the atmosphere of jailhouses.
They're
Take, for
putting
example,
people
one
there.
Walmart in Atlanta that was reopened after closing earlier this year, with the addition of an in-house police station.
Oh, they brought
And
a
then there's
jail.
the issue with
Brought
the
a
missed
jail
scan detection,
into
the AI program used by Walmart that we
store.
previously discussed the limits of in March. See, in an article by Wired, employees at the retailer allege the technology provided by the company Everseen may catch some thieves, but that's not without flagging a substantial amount of innocent customers along the way. Recently, this has
Bugs.
caused shoppers
That
to have
has to
their
be-
videos displayed on self-checkout monitors when a missed scan is mistakenly detected,
Can
a
you see?
feature that seems confrontational to shoppers that feel like they're being accused of a crime.
You can clearly see I scanned the chicken, but then the machine thinks I stole it. It
Can you
says
see?
potential misscan, aka
Potential
theft,
theft.
but I didn't steal it, so the man had to come over there and put his code in.
Still, sometimes it isn't a screen accusing customers, but a member of the store's asset protection team. According to Insider, former U.S. Marine Charles Brisby was publicly humiliated when he had a Walmart worker reach into his bag at self-checkout and ask if he was going to pay for an energy drink mix he had already bought. Similarly, a Reddit post from alleged Walmart employee claimed they were shopping at the retailer on their day off and were using self-checkout when an employee snatched their cart and said they had to go pay at the only cash register. The
Snatch their cats, reaching into your card and snatching out. Okay, first of all, I know they're just doing their jobs, but sometimes some of those employees be doing too much. Okay, they be doing too much. Why would you, like, if you, like, there's a way to approach people. You can't just go and put your hand into their stuff and pull something out and say, "I'm going to pay for this," or accuse them and tell them they have to, like, there's a way to approach people.
poster wrote, "I thought
Some
it
of
was
them be
weird
doing
and it
too
left
much.
me thinking maybe I shouldn't work at this store any longer, and definitely should not go to this Walmart for groceries since they thought I was stealing." Yet this confrontation doesn't always happen at the register. See, retailers have implemented a new way to make sure self-checkout customers aren't leaving with more loot than they paid for. Receipt checks. Yep, employees are stopping their patrons at the door to double-check that they paid for everything in their cart. And customers aren't a fan of the implication.
I don't like that they're painting us all with the same brush, that there's...
Okay, this surprises me because this is something we're used to. If you're, which was why I mentioned the receipts thing earlier. Like that's just normal thing at this. It's normal at this point. Like if you're leaving the supermarket store, you present your receipt and they check everything in your bag. So many times they check that you've paid for everything, or that you, like, it's supposed to protect the store is also supposed to protect the customer, because sometimes you could forget items. Sometimes, like, I've forgotten a whole bag of items, right? And when they checked the receipt, they were like, what about all these other, like, items on your receipt? You don't have them. And that was when I remembered to go there. So it's supposed to protect everybody, but I guess maybe they don't do it here. So now when they started doing it, it's because of the whole theft thing, especially when it's combined with accusing innocent customers. Then everybody feels as if everybody is being accused of thievery, and now you're going to have to prove that you did not steal by showing your receipts. When if they had just been doing like they do it normally here, it's just a normal thing, right? It's just a normal thing.
Assuming that everyone who uses self-checkout is going to steal.
Especially when they feel targeted, racially or otherwise.
Do I look like a thief or what?
I mean,
And while these complaints have inspired jokes at the expense of these shoppers,
Somebody wrote to
Mean
Walmart
Charlotte.
and said, "Hey, guess what? I refuse to be my own cashier and then show my receipt at the front door. So I made my own Walmart Facebook page. It said, thank you for the feedback, but before we can help you with your issue, we'll need to see a receipt." They're like, "You've missed the point entirely. The point was most likely on your receipt, which we have not seen."
many customers feel they shouldn't be penalized for the retail theft epidemic that's largely been attributed to organized crime.
These are criminal
Okay.
enterprises that organize, plan, and orchestrate groups of shoplifters who go in and steal often and large quantities of theft.
And if stores are giving patrons the employee privilege to check out their own items, according to some, a level of faith should be given in return. Or, as one Twitter user put it, you can either trust me to do self-checkout, or you can put your cashiers back in place like they used to be.
Exactly.
I'm not interested in proving that I did your job for
Exactly.
you. But if shoppers are dubbed guilty upon entrance in...
And they should not they should not demand receipts from only people who use self-checkout. That's just ridiculous. Demand receipts from everybody, or don't demand receipts from anybody at all. Alright, don't make me do your job for you to help you cut costs so that you can keep that private jet that you have, and then accuse me of theft, and then have me prove that I actually did the job well by having to present my own receipts when everybody else who used, you know, cashiers do not have to present their own receipts. That's just ridiculous. So pick one or the other.
You can either trust me to do self-checkout, or you can put your cashiers back in place like they used to be. I'm not interested in proving that I did your job for you. But if shoppers are dubbed guilty upon entrance into a store, are there any laws that exist to protect them? Unfortunately, the answer to that question isn't so straightforward. See, a merchant can only legally detain a customer if they have probable cause that the customer is stealing. And simply using self-checkout, well, isn't exactly criminal behavior.
Stores don't have the right to detain customers, to prevent them from leaving, and to demand that they show their receipt before they leave the store and check that the items in their basket or their bag match the items on the receipt.
But not so fast. After all, as customers who have tried to simply bypass the receipt check will tell you,
have it, but I'm just saying legally I don't have to show it to you.
This isn't so easily done.
Don't stop my card. What are you doing?
So if they don't, like I said before, if it's not common practice that they would ask people to show their receipts, then it's no wonder how people can steal. Like, you all think, you think everybody's going to be honest, really? You think everybody's going to be honest? And like that man said, it's part of organized crime. And it's because they know that they have this whole practice of not checking people's receipts.
Give the stores probable cause they need to detain you.
But it's not mandatory, though. I can leave your store right now without the police being called on you. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not stealing.
Yeah.
Because I paid for my
But
item.
if we ask you for a receipt and you don't, we do call the cops.
This means it's recommended to err on the side of caution and stop,
Just have your
especially
receipt
at
and show
membership
it to
stores
them.
like Costco, where you've signed on to their terms. However, there is one way customers can make their dissatisfaction with their protocol known, and that's by taking away their business.
This is how Walmart is. It's what we do to protect assets, to keep the prices low.
Okay, so I guess I'm gonna return my items then.
Okay.
But when it comes to self-checkout, criminal defense attorney Carrie Jernigan warned her TikTok followers against using the machines altogether, as when it comes to asset protection at retail stores, there's no differentiation between those who intentionally steal and those who unintentionally steal.
Like
They
when
have
there's a
lost all
mistake.
sympathy, and they are just taking a tell it to the judge approach.
Yeah.
So, while self-checkout machines are a breeding ground for malfunctions and user error,
it is so easy to make a mistake on these
It
machines.
is.
People have a
Yo,
full shop.
even the cashiers sometimes encounter issues that they have to call for assistance from like the manager or somebody, and then they will have to use like a code or whatever.
Shopping cart, they're putting it in, they forget to scan something, or the machine just doesn't work.
Just does not
intent
work.
might matter in the court of law, but it
And
doesn't
it
matter
is
in
possible
the
to
self-checkout
forget to
line,
scan
where claiming
something.
the
It
machine
is
did
very
it or that it
possible,
was an
especially
honest
if you've got a
mistake
lot of
has
stuff.
become about as believable as the dog ate my homework.
Some of them say, "Oh, I forgot," or "I scanned, but I just didn't realize it didn't come up."
It didn't come up.
Always have a
It's not just an excuse. It
Returns home from a
happens.
successful grocery run without any confrontation, weeks or months down the line, when inventory comes up short on a certain item,
Then you'll
security
go back to
can
the
find
person.
the last person who checked out with that merchandise and pin the
And
blame
pin the
on
blame on
them.
them.
Hundreds of people getting arrested across the country, and I'm not talking about just in store. I'm talking about a knock at your door in the middle of the night.
In the middle of
Which
the
can
night.
lead to
These
a
people are
criminal
not
record,
playing.
or worse.
They are not
Because of who
playing.
these big box stores are, they usually have to present very little evidence to get an affidavit for warrant signed. The charges that could land you up to a year in jail get filed.
And while you may eventually be found innocent, when it comes to the time and money you waste clearing your name, well,
And the fact that
that's
you even went to
non-refundable.
jail.
However, according to lawyer Stephanie Holan, customers should be more concerned about the confidential information they're willingly entering into these machines.
You are standing there putting in your own, sliding your card, doing whatever, punching in your code. and there are cameras
watching you, and there are people behind
more concerned
those
that
cameras.
somebody's watching me to get my information than I would be that they're going to accuse me of stealing an item.
And it seems Stephanie might be onto something when you look at the latest way thieves are outsmarting the self-checkouts, at the expense of paying customers. Take a look at this security footage from a Walmart in New York that showcases 3 suspects allegedly attaching a credit card skimmer to a self-checkout machine. This piece of equipment allowed them to steal data and pins from customers that used the machine, and it's a scam the trio pulled off at 16 different Walmart locations across New York and Maine.
Working in unison, authorities say they installed the skimmers, one on the lookout, in this case shielding the register with her scarf, while another places the device over the top of the card machine.
And if you're thinking this is a smooth operation for your average petty thieves, you'd be correct. These 3 are part of an organized crime ring.
It's a very full-scale operation. You have the people who make the devices, then they'll hire a group of people that go into the stores and install the devices. And then you have the people who actually cash out the proceeds.
But as retailers work to outsmart criminals like them,
they're always working on the next front. We stop them one way,
we find
another way to do it.
Customers are considered guilty until proven innocent. See, while asset protection has caught full families red-handed, slammed shoppers who try to add a few freebies to their bag at self-checkout with first-degree retail fraud charges, and exposed what should be upstanding members of society as common crooks through flashy technology with dystopian implications, workers have also allegedly been forced into hostile situations when anti-theft technology tattles on customers that don't take a missed scan, receipt check, or security involvement lightly.
Customers have reportedly thrown things at employees.
And
because they're being rude.
When it comes to this technology's capabilities and presence in stores,
even if your camera or your AI machine or whatever tells you that somebody might have stolen something, there's a way to approach the person. You don't just go and talk to them anyhow, as if you've found the item and you know what's in their hat, as if you found the item that they stole, you saw that they didn't actually pay for it on their receipts, and you know what's in their heart to know that they intentionally stole the item. Like, there's a way to approach people. You don't just come on.
There's cameras you don't see.
Its observations aren't always accurate, which can lead to innocent shoppers being accused of theft.
You guys treat everybody like this?
Ma'am, we have treated you with utmost respect.
You drugged me through Walmart like I stole, and you said go to the room and give her my ID.
This on the bottom has not been scanned, ma'am.
No, they were scanned. I did scan them on the gun. I did scan them. She just told you. She's showing you. I scanned them, sir. Apology. Thank you.
Take, for example, Paige Warren, a Walmart customer that was leaving a store in Texas with $31 worth of ingredients.
What I'm saying is, if somebody was already holding on to the receipt, first of all, you don't even need 2 security checkout people. You only need 1 person, because the woman who has the goods, who has the car, doesn't have a gun on you. She's just a regular person. You only need 1 person. Second of all, if that person is already checking the receipts and you already have another person going through the items, all they have to do is cross-check the items with the receipts. Why would you be cross-checking the items while somebody's looking at the receipts and you're still talking back to the woman and talking to her rudely and telling her this one has not been scanned? Are you the one with the receipt? Somebody else has the receipt. If you think it hasn't been scanned, all you have to do is show it to the person holding the receipt and say, is this item on the receipt? And that person will tell you. Not that you tell the customer, oh, it hasn't been scanned. How do you know it hasn't been scanned? Were you there? Or are you looking at the receipt? And then he ended up looking at the receipt and he was like, apologies, my foot.
It's for Rice Krispie treats.
It's ridiculous.
When an employee stopped her,
so now I understand why people
would
would throw stuff at them.
bag of Reese's Pieces. Paige apologized and claimed she had thought she'd scanned the item and started taking out her debit card to pay for the missed purchase.
But the
employee said she couldn't do that and instead had to come with them.
So she got
An interaction Paige had the forethought to record. But despite the customer's questioning,
I don't understand why I can't just walk back and pay for my bag of Reese's and go outside with my children.
And reasoning,
don't you think if I wanted to steal everything, I'd just walk out?
Walmart wasn't convinced of her innocence.
So I forgot to scan it.
There was no forgetting. It just got thrown in the bag.
Their interrogation of Paige continued for roughly an hour, while her husband waited in the car with their kids.
I'm starting to panic because I'm just in this room with them and they're not listening to me. I'm just like almost in tears.
I'm ready to cry.
And while charges weren't pressed, she was left with a ban from the store, as well as a valuable lesson.
Good
Do
riddance.
not use self-checkout. I do not want to be accused of something like that again.
And Paige isn't the first customer to allegedly become a target for criminal allegations after using the self-checkout. In 2021, Amber Groom was at a Wegmans with her 2 children after a brutal workday.
You pick an item, you scan it, you throw it in the bag. It's possible that you pick up an item when you do it repetitively over and over. When you do something like that over and over, it's possible that your brain thinks you've scanned an item and that you just throw it in the bag. No, you haven't scanned it. It's very possible. Just like it's possible that you scan an item but you didn't actually scan and you thought you scanned it. Like, I don't know why people are like that. Why do you have to be hostile
This
to people?
particular day, I just came off the day before from working a 14-hour shift at
When you're
the hospital
tired.
in the COVID unit. So tired, exhausting.
And that exhaustion showed at the self-checkout when she
When you
allegedly
think
forgot to scan one of her
scanned something
bags.
and you haven't
Still,
scanned
she
it.
exited the store no problem.
They didn't stop me at the door.
It was only days later a warrant was put out for her arrest. The charge? Petty larceny.
Yeah, I made a mistake, an honest mistake, but I wish they would have came to me about it.
So Amber appealed, and after the case was heard by a judge a second time, she was found not guilty due to no proof of intent. In a statement to NBC 12, Wegmans Corporate wrote that they were disappointed by the ruling as they had video evidence of Miss Groom leaving their store without paying
Okay,
for close to...
when they do stuff like that, when they say stuff like this, what exactly do they want? When somebody allegedly steals from your store, do you not just want your money? Like, at the end of the day, you're angry. I get it. You're angry that they stole from you, but you just want your money because you're doing business and you need the accounts to balance or whatever, right? You need your money. So if somebody says, I'm sorry, I'd like to pay, why would you say, no, you can't pay, you have to go to jail? Or why would you refuse to stop them at the door and then go like weeks later to their door and take them to, like, why not just stop them immediately and say, you haven't paid for this item, please pay for it? And then if they argue with you, you can say, okay, you'll insist on taking them to jail, right? I don't understand how people think. What exactly do you want? Do you want your money or do you want people to go to jail?
Proves, it isn't just customers that have been threatened to write the legal system a check. See, in 2022, the mother of 5 was having trouble scanning items at a Walmart self-checkout in Cleveland when an employee offered their assistance. Despite Marcona not being responsible for scanning the items, she was allegedly accused of theft by security. Eventually, she was let go. Still, she took a stand by returning her groceries.
I was being accused of something I didn't do, and I just felt like that was a slap in the face.
It was
and
a
that
slap.
seemed like the end of the troubling incident. Until 2 weeks later, when Marcona was arrested and spent 6 hours in jail until security footage from the store exonerated her of theft.
Can you see what I'm saying? Why did they not look at the security footage first before making the poor woman spend 6 hours in jail? Why? Why are people so... Why not look at the security footage before you take somebody to... I hope she sued them. I hope she sued their pants
has
off.
since hired the services of attorney Steve Albens to sue the retailer for wrongful imprisonment and help prevent other Walmart customers from being similarly persecuted.
Very good. I'm posting
It's
everywhere
scary
so
for
everybody
any
knows.
person to think that they
It's
can literally
ridiculous.
be going about their day grocery shopping for their children, and that leads to
Incarceration for 6 hours. Like, where were the children during this time? Who had them? Like, who was taking care of the children?
See, back in 2016, Leslie Nurse was also shopping with her husband and 3 children at Walmart. With the help of an employee, she scanned her items at self-checkout and paid, or so she believed, before she was stopped from leaving the store by an asset protection manager.
I remember going in that little room and I was like, this will be resolved. This was
Security.
an accident. This wasn't on purpose.
Security, not asset protection manager. Security.
Despite Leslie telling them her husband had paid the full amount on his debit card, she was charged with stealing $48 worth of groceries and arrested. And while the charges were ultimately dropped when no representative for Walmart showed up to court, the damage to Leslie's reputation and career prospects due to the arrest was already done.
What was worse, she continued to receive demand letters from a Walmart-affiliated law firm offering to drop the matter if she paid them $200.
Can you
It was a sum
imagine?
she considered paying initially.
At first you think, oh, well, I'll pay it and it'll all go away. But then I'm like, I didn't do
They're trying to
anything
steal
wrong. Why would
from
I
you.
pay
Didn't
for
do
something
anything.
that I didn't do.
Right?
Turns out, this was a civil recovery law that Walmart uses in various states. From 2016 to 2017, 1.4 million Walmart customers were charged with theft, allowing the company to collect
So
over
it is theft. So they are stealing from
$315
people. They're using this
With
to steal from
information,
people.
Leslie filed a lawsuit in 2018 that accused Walmart of abusive process,
Yes.
which in the legal world refers to the misuse of legal processes for an ulterior purpose.
More money.
Walmart's being allegedly using the threat of criminal charges to make customers pay up. And it seemed a jury was inclined to believe Leslie's claim, as a unanimous verdict in 2021 awarded her $2.1 million in punitive damages.
Thank you.
I hope it makes a difference. I don't want anybody else to have to go through this again.
Let them go through it so that they can... I'm sorry, sweetheart. Let them go through it so that they can also sue whatever store puts them through this. And those ones they can also get 2.1 million. By the time all the people who have been accused get 2.1 million from the store, we'll see how much of a store is left. Let them keep doing it to other people.
Andy Hargrove claimed the company would be contesting the verdict. We
Let them
continue to
contest
believe
it.
our associates acted
Better spend the money and enjoy your
We
life.
don't believe the verdict is supported by the evidence. But perhaps it's time for these chains to take a good, hard look in the mirror. After all, from self-cleaning machines to entirely self-checkout stores...
Newly renovated Walmart. All self-checkouts.
Why?
I don't see a register at
Why?
all. There go your jobs. There's your $15 an hour, folks.
Retailers have made to push their businesses towards an automated future backfired? Well, according to experts, yes. See, while organized retail crime may be hurting businesses, a recent report from CNBC suggests internal issues are at the root of losses retailers have experienced. These internal issues include discounts, stacked inventories, employee theft, and kiosks that tempt shoppers to take a little something extra.
Self-checkout machines increase the risk of theft and in some cases are outweighing the investments companies made in them.
Yet the measures stores have taken to better surveil customers isn't exactly a solution to the problem. A recent survey from the Harris poll showed that 71% of shoppers found any theft prevention methods, from locked-up products to security guards, made them less likely to provide a store with their business. That number was even higher amongst Gen Z at 89% and millennials at 77%.
It feels like at some point the whole store is just going to be locked up.
That's what it seems like. When they are locking perfumes and locking ice creams and detergents, what else are they going to lock? Tissue, like toilet tissue or
that
what?
have been locked up at big box retailers have expanded from 11.4% of online sales in 2019 to 18.5% in 2023, making Walmart's, Target's, and others' losses Amazon's gain. So what solution do these retailers have? Well, despite self-checkouts becoming increasingly ingrained in shoppers' weekly errand runs, some chains are looking for a way to blend the old ways with the new, like Costco and Walmart, where staff has begun assisting with self-checkout scans.
A sign inside the store says they're testing the full-serve experience where associates will be available to scan all items, including in the self-checkout area.
But while changes like this will likely appease a certain demographic of shopper,
I hate self-checkout. Those machines
Do not work. Thank you.
Last resort for me. That's not the bad.
I want to deal with people.
They're very temperamental. They like to say remove this, and if it's in a bag or not in a bag, and then you gotta punch in your own produce.
Why should I have to do the job?
Love to use it more than older people.
Which makes sense.
Much gray hair in the self-checkout line.
not every customer is enthused.
It'll make grocery shopping a lot longer. Some people don't want to have to talk to people.
I get
in
that.
The checkout lines, so that's going to be a real bummer.
And
I get that. I really do. But when you think about the consequences of doing it yourself, dealing with machines that do not work.
The last thing on retailers' minds.
What problem are they really trying to solve here at the end of the day? And I can't imagine it's about our
It is not, my brother, it is not about your convenience. And it's not about, look, I already said it before.
Bagging and our own scanning, and people are showing them that maybe we can't be trusted so much.
And as stores continue to close due to theft and organized retail crime, some retailers have gone to the extreme. Walmart has recently begun testing new technology in Canada aimed at cracking down on shoplifters and has introduced third-party ads to certain self-checkout lanes to capitalize on their customer base, which to potential advertisers they refer to as Super Bowl-sized audiences. And while this may not be an answer to the woes of shoppers, it seems the retailer has taken one recurring critique seriously.
If you're experiencing a problem with theft, maybe you need to rethink whether or not self-checkout is right for your location or your store.
Exactly.
Yep. Walmart has completely scrapped
self-checkout implies that you trust people. And you're already experiencing theft in your store. so then your next move is to incorporate self-checkout, or to just let self-checkout take over and get rid of all the cashiers. Like, what are you doing? How is that the right move for a store that is already experiencing theft? I don't understand.
Checkout from 3 stores in New Mexico. And as other retailers follow suit, it's clear this is a divisive choice, not just amongst customers.
It's more personable, interact with someone, and there's jobs for people.
Exactly. Look, I agree that there's jobs for people, and many times when stores like this, corporations like this, get rid of people and bring in some new technology, it's because they want to cut costs by firing people. But again, as an introvert, I prefer to just have to do my thing without interacting with people, because people are just people. But I would say that, look, even though technology isn't all that reliable, shopping online is definitely a lot more reliable than self-checkout in person. Like, why would I leave my house and go all the way to the store only to not interact with people by using self-checkout, and then have to interact with people at the end of the day if something goes wrong? And even if I don't have to interact with people if something goes wrong, because nothing went wrong, I won't feel at peace, because I know that anything can go wrong, right? If I don't want to interact with people, I might as well just use online shopping and have it delivered to my door, and I won't have to deal with anybody at all. If I'm going out, then I should understand that I might have to deal with people, right? Like, again, for those of us who aren't always in the mood to deal with people, there's online shopping. And for people who like to actually deal with people, go to the store and interact with cashiers. Stay away from self-checkouts, guys.
If you couldn't use them anymore and you had to wait in the line,
I would just find it annoying if
the lines are too long, so they should hire more people.
Whether it's
So
a
that the lines won't be too long, they should hire more
take a
people.
$100 bill from 1964, or refusing to pay attention to the directions machines have written out, self-checkout can be a frustrating experience for patron and
So
employee
it has to be a
alike.
new
Or as
bill.
one Walmart employee put it on Reddit, I think it should be mandatory for everyone to have to work a certain number of hours at a retail store to see just how stupid and lazy the average person is. Still, as more employees report that Walmart locations in other areas are beginning to dismantle self-checkout, and that this could go company-wide in 2024, many don't believe Walmart has the workforce to handle this change. Of course Walmart would go
Then they
all
should
in
hire
on self-checkouts,
people.
mostly because prices are high and income is low, and then decide, nah, back up, rip them all out, but we're still not paying cashiers. Indeed,
Exactly.
now, it seems that the needs of employees and customers will continue to place last.
If your store went full self-checkout, how big of a problem would that be for you? Huge.
As profits reign supreme.
So if they're losing money on one hand, they have to make up for it on another in order to please shareholders, and you can imagine that it's you and I
who have to pay
that's
for
paying the
it.
extra costs on these thefts.
Yeah.
The self-checkout, a tool that was meant to be a stepping stone into the future of retail, has instead sent humankind barreling backward, as these machines enable our worst instincts to steal.
Technology makes things sometimes safer and better.
When it works.
Also make it easier for criminals.
When it works.
Not stopping could give the store that probable cause they need to ask you to stop and detain you.
This is the inherent risk of using self-checkout. Even if you make a mistake scanning an item, a grocery store,
won't recognize it
Walmart,
as a
wherever
mistake.
you're shopping, will still prosecute.
Honest mistake getting a Houston area woman banned from Walmart.
And assume the worst in people.
I understand it happens, but mistakes happen as well.
This is the story of retail shoplifting, and the way stores have evolved to combat this epidemic despite the wants and interests of their customers.
I am not playing with that, guys. I am not playing with that. Again, I like, if you don't want to deal with people, I am right there with you. Right there with people. Shop online. I don't imagine that there's a lot of stuff that you won't find online. I mean, in fact, there are many things you won't find in your store and that you will find online. Just shop online. Just shop online. I mean, if you compare, if you think, oh, shipping fees and all of that, I mean, what it will cost to take you physically to a store is almost the same as what you will have to pay for shipping anyway. So, like, and the inconveniences or the conveniences of shopping online, right? Like, if you want to deal with people, go to the store and deal with cashiers. If you want to not interact with anyone, shop online. Shop online, okay? Like, I cannot, like, yo, let them get rid of the whole self-checkout thing and let them hire people to actually do the work that they used to do before. And again, at the end of the day, I think they should, you know, incorporate the whole receipt checking. And maybe I'm just saying that maybe because I'm already used to it, and maybe it's actually not, you know, a good thing, because at first I will admit that I was irritated with the whole receipt checking at first, but then I understand. We're here, I mean, those people are there to do business, and their business will not survive if they keep getting stolen from, so they have to take measures to prevent the theft. I get irritated also when people follow you in certain stores from aisle to aisle asking, "Is there something I can help you with? You're intruding on my privacy, leave me alone, let me shop, and stop following me as if I'm about to throw something in my purse." But again, I understand. So I think they should incorporate the whole checking receipt thing, but they should make sure they incorporate it for everybody, not just the people using self-checkout, because that's just stupid. And if you want to stop people, then there's a way to approach people. You don't just stop them and be rude to them and just say stuff anyhow. It doesn't have to be a big deal. If you think somebody, if your machines flag down a customer as a suspected thief, then just ask them for their receipts, or check your system and then ask them to show you their items. Right, and now if they resist and they say, no, you're not checking my items, no, then maybe you can take further actions, you can take further steps and all of that. But why would you just let somebody go and then you go and arrest them later? Like, do you want your money, or do you want people to go to jail? Those of you who still, minus the organized crime people, those ones are, you know, they're criminals anyway. But like those of you who go there and you steal ice cream, and you steal like underwear, and you steal perfume, and you steal, you're thieves. Okay, there's theft in your blood. You need prayers. You need prayers, and you need like, you need somebody to, I won't put a word to it, but you need them to do you shaky. First of all, they should do you shaky. It's just a shame that innocent people, honest people who make honest mistakes, end up paying for the actions, the crimes of the dishonest thief. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video with me till the very end. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you've not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe right now and give this video a big thumbs up. Shout out to all of you who have already subscribed and who support me in one way or another. I truly appreciate it. Thank you once more, and I will see you next time.